Hey guys, so in this video I've got a handful of creepy forest stories for you, and just a heads up, they get progressively more unsettling as we go. The first one might give you a little chill, but by the end, yeah, you might want to keep the lights on. I used to volunteer for a wildlife survey group that tracked owl populations deep in the forests of northern Minnesota. We'd hike into remote areas, install parabolic microphones, and leave them overnight to capture owl calls for analysis. It wasn't glamorous, but I liked the work. It got me out into the wild, far from people. That used to be comforting. One weekend in early fall, my usual survey partner bailed last minute. Stomach flu. I was confident enough to handle it solo, and the weather was still decent, so I decided to go anyway. The site I was assigned to was remote, about 5 miles off the nearest dirt road, accessible only by an unmaintained footpath. No cell reception, no houses for miles. I hiked in during the afternoon, set up my camp near a small clearing surrounded by old-growth trees, and installed the recording gear. Just before dusk, I sat on a log, drank some instant coffee, and listened to the forest shift into night. There was something serene about the transition. Insects taking over from the birds, wind brushing through pine needles, owls starting to call in the distance. It felt alive. I went to sleep, feeling calm. Then, sometime around 1 a.m., I woke up, not to a sound, but to the complete absence of one. Silence in the forest isn't natural. There's always something, a branch creaking, a cricket chirping, a gust of wind. But this was absolute, thick, pressing. It felt like being underwater. I lay still, trying to make sense of it. That's when I heard the first crunch of leaves off to my right. Then another, closer. Someone, or something, was walking around my tent. I froze. My heartbeat filled my ears, and I remember thinking, animals don't move like that. The steps were slow, deliberate, spaced like someone pacing. They circled once, then again. On the third loop, the steps stopped, right behind my tent. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. For what felt like an hour, I stayed curled in my sleeping bag, praying it would go away. I never heard it leave. At dawn, I unzipped the tent, barely breathing. The forest sounded normal again, birds chirping, squirrels darting through leaves, like nothing had happened. But when I checked the soft dirt around the tent, I saw nothing. No prints, no signs of an animal or person. We use parabolic microphones on our gear, super sensitive, designed to pick up faint calls from far off. I figured I'd catch something on the recording that could explain what I heard. So when I got back to the ranger station, I uploaded the file. It started normal, owls hooting, bugs buzzing, wind in the trees. Then at 1:13 a.m., the audio cut to dead silence. No static, no wind, just absolute nothing for nearly 5 minutes. And then breathing, shaky, ragged, human. It got louder, like someone stepped right up to the mic. Then came the whisper, soft, creaking, male close. Don't move, don't move, don't move. Over and over, same tone, same cadence. It went on for nearly 2 minutes before the breathing stopped. The whispering faded, and then just like that, the forest sounds came back, like someone turned the volume up again. I deleted the file. I couldn't listen to it a second time. I never went back to that site. I stopped volunteering for the survey program altogether. Everyone said it was probably a prank or my mind playing tricks on me. But I know what I heard. And here's the thing that keeps me up. About 2 weeks later, I came home late from work. My apartment door was unlocked. I always lock it. Inside, nothing was missing. Nothing out of place. But on my kitchen table was a small black SD card. No label, just sitting there. I didn't touch it. I didn't plug it in. I threw it down the garbage chute. But some nights, when the power's off and the house is quiet, I swear I can still hear it right at the edge of hearing. Don't move. Want another one? Maybe set during winter or something involving a missing persons case. 5 years ago, I worked trail maintenance up in Washington State, mostly clearing fallen trees, building bridges, isolated work, but I loved it until the day we found the log. It had fallen across an old, unused footpath, maybe 50 feet from a stream. Looked ordinary, but we had to move it. I grabbed my axe, and as I brought it down, I swear to God, the log screamed. Not the creaking of wood, a voice, sharp, human, like a man shrieking underwater. I dropped the axe and stumbled back. My partner, Jake, went pale. He heard it too. We tried again, cautiously. When the blade hit the bark, another scream, higher this time and shorter, like it had been cut off. We reported it. Our supervisor laughed, said it was probably wind in the hollow, but he didn't come out to hear it himself. Next morning we went back. The log was still there, but now it was chained to a tree. Not with forest equipment, with old rusted chain, no lock, no reason. We noped out. That was my last week working trails. 3 months later, Jake disappeared, went camping with friends, vanished from his tent without a trace. I went to the site with a ranger, nothing strange, until I saw the tree next to where he'd camped. Chains wrapped tight, fresh, no one could explain why. I've never gone back in the woods alone. And every once in a while, when I close my eyes, I hear that scream again. Only now it sounds closer. It happened 2 years ago, but I still lock my bedroom door at night, even though I live on the 3rd floor, even though no one else has a key. Back then I was in a rough place, burned out, newly single, and desperately in need of silence. So I took a week off work, packed my gear, and drove into a remote stretch of forest in northern Oregon. No cell signal, no other cars at the trailhead. That was exactly what I wanted. I hiked about 6 miles in and set up camp near a small stream. It was quiet, eerily so, but peaceful. The first night passed without incident. I cooked some food, read by headlamp, and fell asleep to the sounds of crickets and wind in the trees. The second night was different. Around 2:30 a.m., I woke up to the sound of footsteps. Not an animal crashing through brush. Slow, careful footsteps, approaching from the trees. I held my breath. They stopped right outside my tent. I could hear them breathing. Then came the sound of fingertips brushing the side of the tent. Deliberate, testing the material, and then the zipper moved. Just an inch, then another. I sat up and shouted, "Hey, I'm armed!" My voice cracked. I wasn't armed, not even a pocket knife within reach, but the zipper stopped. There was a pause. Then the footsteps backed away, fast but controlled. No crashing through undergrowth, no panic, just gone. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. At first light, I packed everything in 15 minutes and started hiking back. I kept glancing over my shoulder the whole time. About 20 minutes down the trail, I noticed something off to the left. Something blue under the trees, a top, half covered in leaves and pine needles. I almost ignored it, but curiosity, or instinct, got the better of me. Underneath was a shallow pit, and in the pit was a pile of bones, not scattered, arranged. Some small, some larger, most were clean but not polished. Next to the bones was a single mud-caked hiking shoe, my brand, my size. I backed away, stomach twisting. Didn't take a photo, didn't touch anything, just ran. I reached my car by late morning and drove until I hit a town with a police station. I told the sheriff everything. A deputy was sent out the next day. They found the top. The bones, they said, were mostly deer, but they sent a few to forensics, just in case. I followed up for weeks. Nothing. Eventually, they stopped returning my calls. I haven't gone camping alone since. But here's the thing. A few months ago, I woke up in my apartment. The window was open. I never leave it open. On the floor near the door was a single pine needle. And just inside the hallway, faint but real, I found a small smear of mud. Like someone had stepped inside, looked around, and left. I changed the locks, bought a security camera. Still, sometimes I dream of the sound, the soft rasp of a zipper just outside my door. And sometimes when I wake up, I'm not sure if I really heard it, or if it's just starting again. Thanks for joining me on this eerie journey through the darkest woods and creepiest tales. If you enjoyed the chills, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss another unsettling story. Until next time, stay out of the forest, and if you can't, don't look back. If you enjoyed this video, let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to not miss a future video. Until next time.